Hey.
Nope, did it wrong.
Hey. What's up? Welcome to the channel where I talk, you listen. I'm your host, Anonymous, and today we're going to be ranking the Spider-Man movies. We're going to be ranking all the Spider-Man movies from S to D tier films. Obviously, the S tier is the best, and D is the worst. Let's get into it. Also, one other thing before we get started. I just want to say my personal ranking here for which Spider-Man is the best, in my opinion. Wait, what's that? You want me to do a separate video on that? Fine. I'll do a separate video. All right, let's go. So, Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. Is it really that amazing? No, I'd say this is a B tier film at best. Definitely not the best iteration of Spider-Man, but not the worst, I'd say. Also, I like the portrayal of Gwen Stacy better than Mary Jane. Next up, we got Morbius, and Morbius is, you know what? I just have to do something really quickly here. Yeah. I'm gonna have to add an F tier here because this is just, wait, where'd it go? It hid away. It got away. Oh, there he is. Oh my god, Morbius, you pulled some slick witchery on me just now. Yeah, F tier movie. And I know, yeah, E comes after D, but it's an F, bro. It's an F. All right, Craven. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, by the way, I'm also including, if you didn't know, the other films that are related to Spider-Man, but technically don't have Spider-Man in them. And I'm doing that specifically because these enemies wouldn't exist without Spider-Man, because they exist in his universe. And so because of that, I just want to add them to the list. Also, I just want to talk shit about them. Yeah. I want to talk about how bad these films are. Yeah, this is more of a rant video than a ranking. Speaking of ranking, next to the list we got Venom 2. Yeah, Venom 2. Carnage is not bad. I don't think that Woody Harrelson playing Carnage was a good casting idea. I just think that should have found someone younger, maybe. That's just my opinion. Carnage, Venom 2. Let me think. Okay. What happened in this movie? Venom, Tom Hardy, Carnage, jail, girlfriend, explosions, church, right? There was yeah. Right. Yeah. Also, I don't think that Craven was that bad. I think that if it was a movie that was not related to Spider-Man or any of Spider-Man's villains, I think that it would have been higher up on the list because it was a good action film. I just feel like if you're gonna have Craven, you need to have Spider-Man. And again, this is one of my pet peeves. This is one of those things that I hate, and I've described how much I hate these in other videos, is the simple fact that you cannot, or you shouldn't be allowed to use characters that exist within the realm of another character without introducing them in that world first. That's just a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, yeah, some people probably are like, sure. I just feel like you could do whatever you want because, the character existed before they fought Spider-Man. you know, their backstory. They weren't always an enemy of Spider-Man. I know. But this character has a better chance at surviving and becoming more popular when they have the hero or villain that they're facing off against, right? They have a bigger chance of becoming popular because they have the ace in the hole, right? That's what a feature film. No, that's not what a feature film is. That's like a feature in music, right? When you have someone who's really popular and they have a newcomer come in to their space and they make a song together, then that newcomer might blow up and get their own fan base. You know what I'm talking about? Do Craven and all the other villains like that, and maybe you'll have a better rating and more money. Man, I talk too much. Next on the list, we got Venom 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 is worse than 2. So I have to give it an F. This movie was terrible. Just a blob of garbage. First of all, you want to put Venom in the MCU for like 2 seconds, give him a cutscene at the end of his film of him being blooped into the MCU, and then immediately blooped back into his own universe at the beginning of his film. That hurt. That hurt a lot. It was almost like you were teasing something possibly going to happen, something that could possibly happen, but then you just took it away immediately. You just destroyed any hope of that. And yeah, I know there's a little symbiote, a little piece of Venom still in the universe somewhere, and I guess that'll be the catalyst for Spider-Man 4 coming out. But who knows? They didn't say anything about Venom. We know that they got a little bit of Hulk, a little bit of Punisher in there. You know, hopefully we get Daredevil and Spider-Man together, but that's a different video. Man, I'm freaking rambling. All right, next on the list we got Venom 1. Venom 1, way better. I'll put it up there with Amazing Spider-Man. I think that Tom Hardy was to face off against a Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield would be a great version for him to face off against, but obviously Tom Holland is the GOAT and the current Spider-Man, and so, you know, just face off against him because it makes the most sense. All right, next on the list we got Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know what? I'm looking at this list and I haven't got anywhere close to the top yet, and I'm thinking about rearranging some of these, maybe thinking a little bit harder on these, because I do love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's one of my favorite, if not my favorite of all time superheroes. And so yeah, I think Venom is an okay film, not bad. I would watch Venom 1 over, but I wouldn't watch any of the other ones ever again. Hopefully I wouldn't have to. But is as good as the Amazing Spider-Man? Yeah, I think it actually levels out right about there. That's actually a good place for it, I think. All right, next on the list we got Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, I think, or Amazing Spider-Man. No, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think that one was better than the first one. First one was a little bit boring. I don't really remember the first one as much as I remember the second one, if I'm being honest. So yeah, Gwen died. That was a really complicated, epic movie scene. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think it was an A. If I have to judge it based off of all of the positions of the other films prior to this one in the ranking, I'm gonna have to put it as an A tier because I think it's better than all of those movies at the bottom. Next on those, we got Spider-Man 2, greatest film of all times. One of the best Spider-Man films of all times, for sure. S tier Spider-Man film. When they were writing this one, they were cooking. They were really cooking. Man, I did a ranking. I did a hero or menace video on Spider-Man 2 like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it just kind of like reminded me of how good this film actually is. Like, wow, the best. All right, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. absolute masterpiece. You can do a lot more than you can live action. Yeah, doing an animation was a great idea. Having Miles Morales as the base was an absolute genius move. We brought in a ton of new audience members, people who love Miles Morales more than ever, Get that guy a live action version. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm still holding out. Oh my god, my mouth is so dry. Next on the list, we got Spider-Man 1. 1 is definitely the most iconic Spider-Man film of all time. You cannot tell me that this film did not set the bar for the rest of these films. I mean, come on, that's tier. And that's not just nostalgia talking. This has got to be on this list because this is the first rendition. This is the one that shows you his backstory, his upbringing, how terrible his life actually is, how good his life could have been if he would have just been paying attention. And his uncle dying. And I knew that I was saying the wrong word as it was coming out of my mouth, and I just couldn't change it. It was too late. Oh god. All right, next on this we got Across the Spider-Verse, another good Spider-Verse movie. I think I want to put it in S tier because it was a really good, groundbreaking movie, especially like the animation, just wild, crazy, the storyline, all of the different iterations of Spider-Man coming together, ones that we knew of, ones that we didn't know of. Maybe some of you knew all of them, maybe some of you didn't know any of them. But that's the beauty of this movie, is that it brought even more adaptability to the character, especially with like how much information there is to behold within the Spider-Man, the Clone Comics. Next on the list, we got No Way Home. No Way Home. Man, I want to put this in the S tier so bad. But my one problem with this movie is that the more you watch it, the less peak it becomes. And maybe that's just how the world works. The more you listen to your favorite song, the less likely it is to hit, the next time after you've listened to it 100 times. Or maybe not. I don't know. It depends on the person, I guess. But like it varies. And so to me personally, I think that this movie's really good, but there are a little bit of cringy scenes in there that I just can't get away from, I feel like something crawling on my back. Oh shoot, I don't have Far From Home up here on this list. All right, well, now that I've realized that I've missed that, I apologize, for one. For two, we're gonna go ahead and just place Far From Home on this list right here, right now. Just kind of boop it right in there. Yep. I'd say this movie is a B tier film because not the best Spider-Man film. I do love Mysterio being in there and causing a lot of mayhem. You know what? Maybe it's an A tier film, right? I do like that movie. I have watched it a couple times. It feels like there are stakes being held in that movie, and yeah, it's a banger actually. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's an A tier film. Now we go to Homecoming again. Homecoming, another A tier film in my opinion. The beginning to the new Spider-Man era. Tom Holland, sensational Spider-Man. I think that this movie definitely sets the bar for what Spider-Man will be in the future, and obviously that is what happened. So he's basically a younger version of Spider-Man, the youngest, I think, based off of the other films. Well, I guess maybe not, right? They just look older than Tom Holland, and so that's kind of what makes it feel like he's younger than them, I guess. Anyway, next on the list we got Spider-Man 3. Yeah, Spider-Man 3. A lot of people hate this movie, and I've watched it a lot of times, like a bunch, probably more than any of the original trilogy. Like I've watched this one the most out of any of the other ones in the trilogy, and so I think that I've kind of become more immune to the idea that that movie was not as cringy as everyone thought it was. Maybe the casting was off. There was a lot of maybe broken scenes. No, actually, you know what I said before about the cringiness? I take it back. It was super cringy. That dance, my God, terrible. No, but yeah, I don't think that movie was as bad as any of these other ones. And obviously, any movie that doesn't have Spidey in it shouldn't even exist. And I want to say I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm not kidding. Yeah. All right, guys, that's my list for the Spider-Mans, all the spiders and whatnots. So yeah, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos just like this one. Be nice to each other out there. Show you boys some love and peace.